Nearly 24 retirements rocking Democrats' hopes of maintaining their control of the House next year. This as the party remains divided, with progressives lashing out at Senator Manchin for rejecting Joe Biden's spending plan and leaving his agenda stalled. So what does this all mean for Capitol Hill in 2022? Let's ask Fox News contributor Karl Rove. Karl, good morning. Merry Christmas to you.
Thank you. Merry Christmas to you.
So there are a lot of things that Democrats have to worry about going into the new year, and one of them are all these retirements that are happening just ahead of the midterm elections.
Yeah, there are a lot of retirements, and what's interesting to me is 3 of the retirements are chairs of committees: chairman of the Transportation Committee, Budget Committee, Science Committee. This is clearly a sign. If you're a chairman, that's for most people in Congress, that's the highest point. And what they're doing is walking away because Democrats understand they're going to be in the minority, and these people are not going to be chairman again for 4, 6, 8 years, God knows how long. So 3 of them are bailing. Senior Democratic leader Stephanie Murphy, who's a rising star in the Democrats, chief deputy whip in a swing district in Florida, she's pulling the ripcord. One of the cardinals, these are the people on the Appropriations Committee who chair a subcommittee, have enormous sway over parts of the budget. A Californian, Lucille Robles-Allard, is leaving. We also have the former chairman of the Democratic Congressional Campaign Committee, Sherry Bestos of Illinois. Here's somebody who knows politics. She's getting out. G.K. Butterfield, who's the former chair of the Congressional Black Caucus, he's as well leaving. We got 4 people running for the Senate. If they're gonna have a bad election year, at least go for an open Senate seat. If they lose, they're out of politics. If they win, they don't have to run for another 6 years. We got somebody who's saying, "No, yeah, I'd rather run for L.A. mayor than run for re-election." And somebody said, "I'm running for the nomination for the Maryland Attorney General rather than running again." That's a sign that they understand what's going to happen, which is the Democrats are going to lose control of the House.
Last we heard, the Biden administration is still in talks with Senator Manchin on Build Back Better. Even though he said that he's a no at this time, they're still putting the pressure on him. What happens next year? Do you think that they could get anything done on this front?
No, they're not going to get anything done. And, he's been very clear about this. And if they wrote a bill that would get Joe Manchin's vote and Kristen Sinema's vote, in all likelihood, they would have serious defections on the far left of their party, because the Progressive Caucus is not going to stand for a measure that only goes a little way. That's why they wanted to do the whole enchilada, as we say in Texas. They had every bit of that bill stuffed with welfare expansions of the welfare state. And in order to hide the true costs, they made those expansions of the welfare state last between 1 and 6 years, paid for with 10 years of revenue. And so anybody who looks at that says, this is a financial disaster coming. We can't afford it as a country, and we don't want government to be grown that big and take over so many things. And no, they're not going to get it done. But that hasn't stopped them from attacking Manchin. To me, this is just unbelievable. If you wanted to get something done, would you have one of the rising stars in the Democrat caucus in the House, Congressman Bowman of New York, call him a racist, saying it shows that as a white man, he doesn't care about black people or Latinos? Would you call him, the leader of the House Progressive Caucus called him a liar and a traitor, Jay Appel of Washington State. President Biden referred to him at a news conference as deceptive, which had to be walked back later by Jen Psaki. And AOC said he misled the president. He lied to the president, again, which the White House had to deny had taken place. But these kind of attacks on Manchin are going to do no good for community inside the Democratic caucus. And for every action in politics, there's an opposite and opposing reaction. And among centrist Democrats, they're going to say, really, that's how they treat us? The people who gave them the majority, the progressives, hate us, belittle us because we may disagree with them on some measures. That doesn't make for a good caucus.
Wow. Yeah, and really quickly here, we talked about Congress. Let's talk about the executive branch. We're talking about a lot about Kamala Harris this morning. Is there anything that she can do to right the ship? Because her poll numbers are down in the tank, down the tubes, however you want to describe it, they are low. And she is speaking out to the media, and her people are saying that she's not happy.
Well, there is something she could do to right the ship, and that is do a competent job. But it's thus far, whether it is on immigration or voting rights or anything else they've given her, she's been incompetent. I loved it. I loved your segment on her earlier. In politics, some politicians have a tell. Just like in poker, you look for that sort of little thing that indicates that there's a weakness there. Hers is the cackle.
Yeah.
Whenever she goes and laughs inappropriately in the middle of an answer, at the start of an answer, it means that she is really nervous, because she knows she doesn't have a good answer. And the question was, had you done anything wrong? And she started laughing and said, well, I didn't get out of Washington enough. No, you didn't get your job done. You didn't do anything on immigration that made a difference. You didn't do anything on voting rights that made anything except political horse sense. And what else have you done that has been useful to the country? This woman's problem is not getting out of Washington. It's staying in Washington and getting her job done competently.
It's a great point. Carl, thank you so much for joining us.
You bet. Thanks for interviewing me rather than those two mugs you got there stuck with this morning.
I had to fight
my
them to get this interview. I'm only kidding. But
well,
I'm lucky to have
winning.
it. See you, Carl. Thank you.
I'm Steve Ducey.
I'm Brian Kilmeade.
And I'm Ainsley Earhart. And click here to subscribe to the Fox News YouTube page to catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis.